Good evening.
Finally tonight, the wartime death of his father inspired Pink Floyd's Roger Waters to write some of his most powerful music. It featured in the film and the album The Wall, describing his anger at the British High Command for taking his dad from him at the age of just 5 months. But he never knew exactly how his father died, until now. Paul Davis explains how that mystery was finally solved.
7,000 Allied troops lost their lives in the Battle of Anzio as British, American and Canadian forces tried to push the German army out of Italy. Among those who died was Royal Fusiliers Lieutenant Eric Waters, whose youngest son Roger, on his mother's knee here, was just 5 months old at the time. Roger Waters would grow up to become a musician. World famous as a member of Pink Floyd. The death of his father left its mark and even featured in his music over the years.
My father is commemorated in this.
Waters visited Anzio earlier this year, telling Italian television he needed to find out what happened to his father, whose body was never recovered. Harry Shindler, who fought at Anzio and now lives in Italy, set out to solve the mystery.
Well, I was very moved by the fact that he was this person who had such a great affection for his father, who he'd never seen.
Through his Veterans Association, he traced these records. They show that on the 18th of February 1944, there was a German attack on Lieutenant Waters' Z Company. Nearly an hour later, the enemy was all around. 20 minutes after that, it reports, Lieutenant Waters, his name misspelt, was killed. With old maps, Harry's been able to tell Roger Waters exactly where his father fell.
Roger, until he knows where his father was killed, the war goes on. Now, of course, it's possible for him to say the war is now finished. I know where he was killed, and I can go there and lay a wreath or whatever at this spot.
Speaking in New York, Roger Waters said, "I think it's extraordinary. I learnt that there's a possibility that I may be able to visit the spot where my father died. I am moved to tears by that." Early this year, he played a musical tribute to Anzio's war dead. He will now be returning to find a personal closure that has waited nearly 70 years. Paul Davis, ITV News.
Roger Waters remembering the father who died in Italy.